Hello, everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome to Dream Warriors podcast, where we change the world one one conversation each time, and we do our very best. And I am so lucky, and you as well are going to be, because you are going to meet one Wonder Woman that I have the pleasure to have in my life. And I could not start this season without having you as one of the first guests. So that takes me to say, hello, Lisa. How are you doing?
I'm doing well, Rita. Nice to be here with you.
It's so nice to be here. So I'm going to do a question that for me is ridiculous, but who are you and what do you do? It's a
I
loaded question, huh?
Loaded question. No, it's okay. I am the founder and CEO of She Is Me Global, and we are a women's empowerment platform. And it was created so that we could have a safe space for women to tell their stories. And it has evolved into so many other things. I'm a wife, I'm a mom, I have two kids, two stepkids, and three dog babies.
Mhm.
Um, and I do a lot of other things. I'm a musician, I'm an artist.
I did not know
Uh,
you're a musician. We have that in common. Okay.
we do, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm an activist.
You are a rocket scientist.
I'm a rocket scientist as well.
Mhm.
In a past life. But yeah, but now I use my powers for good, and I really am set on helping women achieve whatever they want to achieve.
And what time now, right? It's time for us
It's
to,
it's,
and more
it's
than ever, it's time for us to. I'm going to say something, and then you pick up and you rephrase it, and then right. I don't like to look to the problems as problems. I like to focus straight away in what can be done to change. And I
Mhm,
believe you, as a big action taker,
mhm.
is that fire that you always have on you. Like, I know when you are little and someone told you you could not do something,
It still happens.
still until today.
Yeah, you want
So,
me to do something, just dare me or tell me I can't.
exactly. And watch me, right?
Watch. Yeah.
Um, why it's so important for you to give this space for women.
Um, so I came from a family that of abuse and addiction, and um, nobody had a say. Nobody was listened to. Nobody had a say. We walked on eggshells. We had to be careful about everything that we did. And I grew up and I married that same person, that same exact person. Um, and it was terrible. Um, 17 years in. And I talk a lot about boiling the frog. And boiling the frog means, if you've ever heard
The
that
experience,
expression,
yes.
you put a frog in water
Correct.
and the frog is fine, right? But you
Mhm,
slowly heat the water until the water is boiling and then the frog cooks. It's
mhm.
kind of it's the same situation when people say, why don't you leave? Or why didn't you get out of it? Or whatever. Well, I was a frog and I was being boiled and I didn't
It's
really,
so simple to say, to tell that.
yeah.
And
So
in special with women as us, because and I just want to bring that to the table, because people always believe then go-getters and fighters and intelligent women and strong women will
mhm.
never stay on. Then it's so easy to do that.
Yeah, it's when all you've ever wanted was to be seen, um, and somebody sees you, even if it's love bombing you, and you're they're tricking you, manipulating you. You don't know that. All you know is you're being seen, and the next thing
Mhm.
only thing you want to do is spend your life with that person because they see you, and it's a trick. It's a trick.
It is a very, it is a trick, and it's so beautiful what you're saying because I went through exactly the same situation and I
Mhm.
stayed for a long time. And now that you are telling that I'm just downloading and it was exactly that and it was going on. Like I
Mhm.
never felt that someone did care, was so proud and did love me so much. But
Oh yeah.
then then the other side always come up and it was
Mm.
terrible. But you
Yeah.
always like try to figure out, no, cannot be. No, I'm seeing this wrong. Yeah,
I'm seeing it wrong, and
gaslighting is the thing. Yes.
what did I do to cause it? And
It's my fault.
because when you grow up that way, you're blamed for a lot of things. So you're thinking, I did something. Next time I better do it better. I better do it right. I better, and it's never right. It's never enough. It's never any of those things. Um, but in 2006, um, he, I asked for a divorce, and he didn't like that, and so he tried to kill me. And so I escaped. Luckily, my son wasn't there that night. My daughter was there, so she
Mhm.
has trauma from witnessing the whole thing. But we escaped, and my journey to healing and raising my kids by myself after that, and all the things. Um, I wanted to tell my story. Once I healed enough, I felt like I wanted to tell my story because I wanted to make sure that women could learn from my story, that they felt like they weren't alone in
Mhm.
hearing it, that they
Mhm.
weren't stupid, and they didn't need to feel shame, and they didn't need to feel embarrassed, and they could ask for help. All of the things that I talk about now because of what happened to me and how it happened and all the things that I learned afterwards, and going back and seeing all of those things as they happened, and
Mhm.
then witnessing it in other women and what they're going through. I really wanted to be able to stand up and tell my story. But there wasn't a place that I could stand up and tell my story that was safe.
Mhm.
And after having lived through all of that, and of course, being a woman, we need safe spaces, right?
Mhm.
And I couldn't find a place. I didn't want to broadcast it to the world over the internet because I know how even sometimes I will respond to somebody's post very innocently and then I get attacked by crazy men, calling me all kinds of names.
Mm.
So I was like, one morning I was laying in bed and I thought, well, why don't I just do this myself? I spent 30 plus years in technology by that time. I knew how to set everything up. I knew how to build websites. I knew how to do marketing. So why don't I just do it myself? And within a couple of weeks, I had 30 women on board, and they're what I call now the founding members because they were the ones who said, yes, we'll do this with you. And so we created She's Me conference. We had a conference. And then, now we have so many other things, but that's how it started. It was out of my trauma and recovery and healing to create a space where women could, no matter where they are, no matter what has happened to them, that they could come and tell their story and know that they're not alone. And their message reaches other women to
Mhm.
know that this happens to other people and you can get help and you can heal, and we're all,
And you are allowed to smile again.
yeah.
I don't know if I ever told you that, but for me, it took me to took me to a level of taking the most terrible decision of my life. There was going away from where I was, and that means being away for the people that I more love in my life, people that I did give birth to, and they are very important to me. But I felt that I did not, my brain arrived, my mental health arrived to a moment that I could not find another way. Like I could not keep on that loop. And
Mhm.
everyone from outside could observe and felt that I was the most loved woman in the world.
Of
They
course.
proclaim his love for me like I was the queen of the world. Then, and I'm not going to get in details, but the other side is really weird. And then it's very interesting because in my personal case, as a father, he behaves as I wish my father did. And that is the
Mm.
tricky part because I always did want my children, even the ones who are not from him, to have the best father because I lost my mom really early and I could grow up without my mom. But I
Mm.
felt, and if I had a present father that was present and protective and with me and lovely, I did not took so many wrong decisions very early in my life.
Mm.
So eh, it was a nightmare because I was a mom for 24 years. In a moment to the other, I'm not a mom anymore. So that identity is not there. And you are trying to grasp the missing and all of that. And one of the things that I have been doing, and I believe that is part of my mission, is creating communities that don't judge and
Yes.
trying to be based on my limits, but trying to be as raw like I am being right now.
Hmm.
Um, I and that is a very interesting thing. Then we are so judged, and I work with a lot of coaches who work with moms, and one of the main things is we are always believing that we are bad moms. That is like the worst thing. Like, especially if you have connection with Latin culture, you will understand me really well. Being a bad mom is almost being something else, meaning like working the world profession, and like there is coming, and if it's a Catholic background, like this come
Yes.
go with go. Like the worst thing you can be, it's like you are always looking, I'm being a bad mom, I'm failing, I'm failing, I'm failing, I'm failing, I'm failing. So
Hmm.
if someone is listening to this, and for sure it is, who feel that you are a bad mom, please write on the comments a list of what is to be a good mom. And please,
Yeah.
on the end of the week, just celebrate how badass mom you have been this week. Because it's so easy how society requests so much of us. And
Yes.
we getting into the possibility of owning our own business and working, that is amazing. But that came with an extra layer. Now we need to be great professionals. We need to go up on the ladder of success. We need to make loads of money. We need to be beautiful. We need to be sexy. We need to not age. We need to be great moms. We need to be great wives. We need to cook well. Like, please,
Yeah, all of the things. And what
you
does,
F serious.
yeah, yeah. And
Why?
what does the man need to do? He needs to go to
Yeah.
work and come home, and that's it. Like,
And
go to work. Like,
And
that's
this
it.
at this moment, there is a lot of relationships where daddies don't even play a role anymore. There is a lot
Right.
of relationships where the women are the sole providers or the main providers. And
Hmm.
hands up to the men who can handle that, because that is something else. Like, and I'm talking with you about this because we are lucky enough to be so aware of different cultures and we have that knowledge. So why? Why? They cannot handle us. Oh, another cool thing is how they always put us against each other. And I feel then that is finally changing. But I never had relationships, friends, or very few friends, women. I had gay friends and even
Hmm.
male friends, but I always struggle with have friendships with women.
Hmm. Hmm. I
Thank
was just
God
thinking
it's
about
now
that yesterday.
changing.
Yeah.
Why? Was
Because
a form of control.
yes. So they pitted us
Okay.
against each other because when women get together, what do men usually think of? Like they're plotting, they're planning, they're doing something against us. Like even in like if you go out with friends and you two women go to the bathroom together, what are you girls
We
doing
are
in there?
talking. Yeah.
Yeah, what are you doing in there? You're like, why do you have to go together? It's like because we are protecting each other and it's fun to talk and, like they'll never ever understand us. That's just the way it is,
Men
right?
will never understand the fascination. Then with like, I love to go to bathrooms. Each new and cool restaurant that I go, I'm always have a curiosity to know how is the toilet. Don't ask.
How's the bathroom? Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
So
but but when we side with them and we don't side with each other, then they have complete control over us, right? But when we band together and we stick together as women, they can't control us. They have no power over us. So why not? I mean, some of the first reality TV shows that came out were the housewives and those things where the women were just pitted against each other and fighting all the time.
mhm.
And the world would love to see us do that, right? And
Cat fighting.
I'm here to say no, no. But I'm the same way. I grew up with sisters,
Mm,
um, but I always had male friends or gay friends. Same. I always had
mhm.
male friends. In fact, one of my teachers used to say that I had a harem at school because I had, a bunch of boys, and it was just me and a bunch of boys. Um, but I always felt like I wasn't judged by them. I wasn't,
Oh yeah.
I was just one of them. Like I could play sports and I could, joke around and I could have fun and do everything. But
And being
um
more on, like I feel you because until like me growing up, um, and being such a free spirit, and that doesn't mean I did always things right, but I
mhm,
always did the most crazy, insane things. Like it was not normal 20 years ago then a mom of, I don't know, 3 or 4 kids was touring the world as a DJ and I was doing Playboy cover at the same time.
yeah.
Yes, it doesn't work like that. So it is, and the hate that I used to get when I was on that position before social media, when people could just comment under the news online,
Mhm.
was majority women. And I was like, no way.
Yeah.
Why?
Shaming
Like,
you. Shaming you.
why?
Yeah.
Why? And that is that have been, and now then I look back the last 3 years where I mainly work with women 40 plus. There is a healing process because I had no women in my life. My mom died and I had my grandma, but my grandma was always the man. Everything that a man does is good. Everything that I was doing was wrong. So
Mm,
her son was always right, my dad. And whatever he was doing, I was wrong. So my kids were always right. I was wrong. And and I it was, you can imagine with my spirit was not easygoing interaction. So, and I always ask why. Like I was the annoying kids who ask why not? Because nobody
mhm,
does. And why I cannot be the first one.
mhm,
And so what? Oh, imagine what people will say about you. I don't know if I'm a weird, because I was the only child and I grew up in Africa with no kids. I
mhm,
always did kind of grow up without caring really with other people think about me, except
mhm,
the people that I really love.
mm.
But if don't pay my bills and I have the power of block you and send you away from my content, I'm happy with that. And I just believe that. Do you feel then we are changing? Then do you feel then we are coming together?
I do. I do. I feel that things are changing little by little. Um, I feel like the tower is crumbling. The tower of the patriarchy is crumbling. It's not easy, but it's happening. But I feel more and more, as you said, I've been doing this work for about 6 years now. Um, and I feel such a thrill when we actually all come together. Um, and how the feeling is as though we can do anything, like there's nothing to stop us. Um, and building this platform and building this community of women who don't shame you and don't guilt you. I mean, women have been we're shamed from the time we're born, right? Because most of the time when we're born, they say, oh, you have a daughter, or maybe next time you'll have a son. The very first thing that comes out of most people's mouth, right?
Yes.
Maybe next time you'll have a son. And then the first toy we get is a baby doll. So here I'm a 2-year-old child learning how to take care of a baby,
Mhm.
right? And then I get a set of dishes, and then I get a broom, and I get a kitchen, and I get, you know, Barbies so I can learn how to dress right, and all of these things instead of toys that would help me learn and grow and be just who I really am. And then we get to the mid part of our lives where we've followed all these rules and we've done everything we're supposed to do. And then our kids leave and our husbands freak out because we're finally saying we're not going to take this anymore. Like we're going to try and figure out who we are and everything. And we get to that point, and then we're kind of lost, right? We were like, who am I? What do I like? Because I've always liked soccer because my
Oh,
kids play soccer, and I've always
oh my
I like
God. That is
TV
such
show
a,
because my husband watches this, and I've been watching it for 20 years, and I hate it, but I never say anything because that's what we do on Thursday nights or whatever, right? It's just this we get into this
I,
rhythm of our lives, and then we get to a point where we say, who am I? What do I like? What do I even like? What do I even what do I even like to do? What would I even like to try that I never tried that I always wanted to try, but I could never try because I'm so worried about it, what everyone's going to say, and the shame and the guilt and the judgment and everything else. And we go through this transformation if we're lucky, right? We go through this
I,
transformation.
if we, yeah, if we are lucky and if we are brave, because it's not easy to break the mold.
But
I had
this
a
is where the
moment.
community comes in, right? This is where the community comes in
Yes, there is.
because then you have mentors and you have guides and you have a support system and you have women who believe in you and
Mhm.
say, do it, girl, do whatever you want. We'll support you. Yes,
We
we'll look
have
at
your
your,
back. We hold your hand.
yes, we'll have your back. And that's something that we never have. Women never have someone who has their back.
Yeah.
We're on our own. We're on our own raising kids. We're on our own cooking meals. We're on our own cleaning. We're on our own.
And
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 often,
we can have problems trusting others, especially if we went through a lot.
right.
And many times, and then coming back to you, I have a story. Then like after I don't like to say I run away, but I like to say I never return. I have a moment. Then I'm in Walmart in Mexico, and I'm going to shopping for food, and I take the card, and I'm alone, and I start boiling my eyes out because I had no clue what I would like to eat.
Mm-hmm.
No clue. My brain automatically was, Gonzalo likes this, you know? And it's like
Yeah.
what what they like, what because we how many times as moms we finish eating the plates that no one wants to eat, right? And
Mm-hmm.
and I had no clue who I was. I had no clue how broken I was. I had
Mm-hmm.
no, and then at the same time, there is that shame. Then you don't want anyone to find out.
Correct.
And
Correct.
there is there
Because
is
there
a
is shame in
relief.
there is shame in asking for help. There is
There
shame.
is shame in
Everything we
asking for
do,
help. There is a shame
there's
of
everything
asking
we
for
do.
help.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, yes, yes. And um, and I don't know, but I was reading the other day, and like when you come across with a lot of neglect and abandon and things, you can come a superpower woman, like a Wonder Woman, like you like, because you learn to do everything alone, because you
Mm-hmm.
know you can only rely on you. And this
Mm-hmm.
have a great superpower. Like I lost everything in my life, but I did know that the trust in myself, I did trust myself. That was my superpower. Now, what um it can it at the same time you don't you are scared, like you don't want to be dependent on anyone because everyone can fail you. So it is really really important. Then we look into what works for us and
Mhm.
what makes sense. Give me 1 second. I need we are back. Shame, trusting.
Yeah.
But if we come together, we have superpowers.
Mhm.
If we
So let's talk about shame a
agree,
little bit
yes.
because shame, like I was saying earlier, right? You're shame from almost the very beginning. And especially if you grew up in a religious family, right? Eve did this and women are shamed forever and ever. Um, and so we get to this point in our lives where we don't ask for help, we don't let anybody know anything's wrong.
Mhm.
Um, we put on this brave face all the time and we run ourselves ragged and we think that self-care is, sitting in the bathtub for a half an hour on Sunday night while the kids bang on the door and, don't leave you alone, right? But
Mm,
you never ask for time, you never ask for help from your spouse, you never ask for any of those things. You just do it on your own,
I
keep
do
going.
it. I do it. I do it. And at the same time, and now you are saying, like, I don't know about if that is related with shame or that is related with the fact that we really want everyone to love us. So,
Well, no. So my point is, we have been taught though that um, that often what matters most is how we look,
mhm,
how we perform,
mhm,
if we can get a man or not, and
mhm.
our self-worth is based on external attention, is based on all of those
Validation.
things that we get from external sources, right?
Mhm,
So often because we aren't raised to believe in ourselves, to trust ourselves, to have this worth,
mhm,
self-worth and self-love, we 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 depend on all of those things. So we are betrayed by other women because of those things, because of those, they need that external attention. So if you're getting more attention than I am,
mhm,
then I'm going to do what I can to get more attention than you because why are they paying attention to you? I'm worthy as well. I need to do something over here to get attention, which betrays you because I should be supporting you and I should be loving that you get attention because you're my friend and I care about you and I adore you and I want you to feel good and if you're doing something that deserves attention, you should be getting it instead of me going over here and betraying you and trying to take the attention away from you. So it's this whole idea of women who don't have any self-worth or self-love who depend on that external attention, external, whatever it is, um, and sexual attention as well, right? So
mhm.
how many women have you been friends with who's tried to sleep with your husband or your boyfriend or tried to
Mhm.
steal them away from you or something, right? Because
It
it's
looks
this,
like that they are even a better target if if you are married and they want like, oh, she's successful, he's married with her, I want him.
uh-huh. Yeah,
Or oh,
yeah.
she's doing
I want to take the
something, not
attention away
necessarily. Yes, exactly.
from her because if I take the attention away from her, then that means I'm more
More
worthy,
than her.
deserving, more whatever. So
Hmm.
the idea that, and this is behavior that has been caused by all of the patriarchal structures and teachings and religion and everything else that we've been subjected to.
Hmm.
So we then decide we don't care. And this is happening with the younger generations, right? The younger women who are saying, I don't care about a boyfriend. I'm going to sit here and read my books and love my cat. Like that's
I
it.
don't care about having kids, is
I
where
don't
they
care
are right now.
about how I look. I'm going to dress how I want. I'm going to wear my hair how I'm going to cut it all off. I don't need to look beautiful because I love myself. And that's all that matters. And that's beautiful to me. So all of us older women who grew up learning all the other ways
Mhm.
that we need to have, depend on these outside. Be a good mom, be a good cook, be a good housewife, all the things you mentioned, so that you get praise. But has anyone ever asked you how your day went? Or has anyone say, how you feeling? Or does anyone care about who you really are and what you really love and what you want to do with your life? No, because you are here for a purpose. And the purpose is to get married, have kids, take care of your family, have a nice house, blah, 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 right? Who
Mhm.
cares about what you are and who you are and what you want to do? Yet, in my work in the last 6 years, and I've been lucky enough in 30 years to make some beautiful friends working in technology because there aren't a lot of women. So the women who are there, we have to stick together, right? Um, but in the past 6 years, meeting women who are where we are now in
Mhm.
our lives and who want to trust and have relationships and have community with other women because we've learned those lessons and we're past that and we know that how important and how much we've missed having other women in our lives. I know I did. I missed having those girlfriends. I mean, I had a really good friend. She died when we were in our 20s that I grew up with. Um, but I still have friends that I've had since elementary school, women friends who are
So beautiful.
so beautiful and so amazing
Mm.
and support me in no, like all I have to do is ask and they're
Mhm.
there. And it's amazing. I didn't ask for a really long time, but when I finally did, I realized that they were there for me, and I've always been there for them.
Mm.
Um, but it's amazing that the women that I work with now in this community and that are attracted to our community and come in are feeling the same way we're feeling. Like we really need each other, and we're so happy when we find each other, and that we're able to share things with each other and support and celebrate and lift each other up and without any of that judgment or jealousy or shame. No one ever says, you're trying to do that, that's really stupid. Everyone goes, you're trying to do that, how can we help?
Oh, it's very interesting because um and I know I believe for whatever people believe in this, but I believe then you attract what you're vibrating. And
Totally.
one of the things that I get on the last 3 years is because my communities always have such a magical place to be part of, and the people then I attract, and you will start meeting few people like they are um such a beautiful vibration. And people
Mhm.
ask me, how you create such beautiful communities without drama, except my drama sometimes, but without drama. Um, I I want like I listened to this question so many times. I was like, I don't have really a how I do that, but I know that I will not stay in a community or spending time with dramatic people. I'm not going to say dramatic women. I'm going to say dramatic people and people who are always trying to create drama because I'm not like that. So
But
I
that
would
goes back to
try.
what I just said about creating drama. Why do you create drama? Because you need attention.
Mhm, mhm.
You're feeling unseen and unheard, and you need to create the drama to get attention.
Yeah,
And some people it's like a drug. It's very
yeah.
addictive. It's very
Mm.
addictive. I just watched a show about a woman who was a social media star,
Mm.
and she put her whole family, they what do they call it, like family vlogs, I guess.
Uh-huh.
She put her whole family out there, and every day, this is what we went to the store and we bought this, and we, constantly.
Yeah.
And then she kept having babies because
Mhm.
babies are good,
Babies
you
are
know,
great for, yeah.
great for attention, right? So she
Mhm.
kept having babies, and then she adopted a baby which was something
Oh, I know that
another
I know is yes.
story. Yeah.
Keep going.
And
Not necessarily
then
everyone
for some
knows.
reason,
Mm.
yeah, the baby went to, or the child went to another family, and then
He had something, right? He had um
yeah, he had like some autism, or I don't know, some sort of diagnosis.
something,
But,
and yeah, he came from a different country, if I'm right. And
he
there,
did, yeah, he came from another country. But the whole point of this is, she was so addicted to the attention, right? Like just on and on, and the people were loving her and sending them money and gifts and this all the time. And then, and then instead of being honest with her community and saying, look, I'm having a really hard time and I'm not sure that we can keep him, she just kind of went dark. And then the next thing you know, the baby's gone. And then they went offline and never said anything. Like they never resolved any of this. Um, so there's this huge cloud of shame around this, right? There's this huge cloud of like she's feeling so ashamed that she couldn't do it. But she also wasn't honest with everybody. She wasn't transparent. She wasn't. Um, it was really difficult to watch this documentary, and I didn't know anything about them prior to seeing this, but as I was watching it, I could just see how the behavior was around this addiction to attention.
mhm.
And I'm not saying, I'm not, please believe me, anyone who's listening, if you're online, because I've had the hardest time showing up, showing my face and actually being out there talking to my community. I love to write and I love to produce events and things like that. But it was really almost like um, what do they call that when you have a problem?
Imposter
It,
syndrome.
imposter syndrome, yes. Almost like an imposter,
I
like
cannot
who's gonna
imagine you with imposter syndrome,
no,
Lisa.
just who's gonna listen to me because I worked so many years sort of behind the scenes making things happen. I was never the
My
forefront. I was never
marketing
this.
brain is like boiling right now. Who's going to like you are one of the most interesting souls that crossed my path on the last 4 years. And I have been working with more, I crossed my path with more than 1,000 people. So just for you to, there is so many. Hmm, I'm going to put something on the table. I want you to tell me what you think.
Okay.
I have a theory. I believe, and that is one of the reasons why I love to do things global because that gives perspective to other ones. I
Yes.
believe the people who have it more difficult, who go through more, who have like, I don't want to call it drama, who have so many moments, then you say, no, she's not going to cross this. And, or even you, like, how I'm going to cross this. This is
Mhm,
the people who have it more difficult. They have two options, or they stay in victimhood,
mhm,
or are the ones who learn how to be happy with the simple things in life
mhm,
and then really enjoy their life and are grateful for. Because I don't know about you, but in special, I don't, it, not nothing against men, but in special men who had it very easy, had parents who loved them and give everything, and they went to study when they want, and they get the car, and like I see a lot of my friends who have that so deep depressed after they
mhm,
cross the 40 and 50 like and
mhm,
even these new generations like and I'm talking I have kids with 25 years old so I start really early in my life and
mhm,
I remember when they are teenagers, like you overprotect them so much because you want to be such a good mom and you don't want them to grow up as you did grow up. So you believe, and then you always believe you are doing your very best, like, right? And now it's life is difficult for them because extra they have this thing of social media and this pressure. And I'm going to the attention, like
mhm,
all this pressure of being perfect
mhm,
and being beautiful. I even am going to throw something in the table, the pressure of aging.
Oh,
Like
of course. Right.
that alone is, and for many, because our audience are normally 40 plus,
Hmm.
I had this conversation with you one time. Like, I cannot stand if someone else comes to talk with me until they don't push their business to the next level, they don't take action in their gifts because they feel they are too old and they are 40.
Right. Right. But see, that's what happens, right? When you get to that point and you don't know who you are and you don't know what you like to eat, what you like to listen to, what you like because you've given everything up for everybody else at that point, and you've probably had dreams and you probably have, you know, ideas of what you're good at, or maybe you just don't believe that you're good at anything, but that's where
Mhm.
like you and I come in, where we help women realize those things and see it in them and then help them get to that next level. But I do want to finish the thought because I want to say this to women who are showing up, right? I told this story about the shame to the woman blogger about the shame she felt where she just disappeared, right? Instead of being honest, and she kind of made her own bed, is what I'm saying. But this idea, like, I want to make sure that people who do show up, do they show up so that they are doing their work, not for the attention, right? Like, because that fades. That is like, your young, beautiful skin that you have when you're a young girl. It fades. You get wrinkles, you get this, and
You
there's
do.
always going to be someone who doesn't like what you have to say. And so you have to be um so inside of yourself, so strong in your convictions and so strong in your work and your beliefs, um, and show up authentically and show up, um, with integrity, right? And make sure that you're showing up because you want to show up, because you have a message, not because people are adoring you. Because again, that's that
Mm.
external thing. And what's going to happen is there's going to be, there's always shame and judgment
Mhm.
associated with that. So it's really turning the tables. It's turning the tables on those expectations and saying, you know what, the only expectation I have is the expectation of myself and my work, and that I show up and that I keep doing the work. But that's my only expectation, because expectations always lead to resentments. They always lead to,
Change the expectation for appreciation.
yeah, especially that, right?
It's
Um, And then you feel depressed and you feel let down and you feel betrayed and you feel all of these things when you're sort of making the whole thing, you're doing it to yourself, really. I'm going to just say it bluntly. You're doing it to yourself. So if you can, create this or start feeling that love for yourself, and that you are worthy regardless of what you do or how you show up. You're worthy. You're here, right?
Yeah.
You're a beautiful soul on this planet. You're here. And not everybody has to have a business and have a message and all of those things. Like, not
And
everybody
have
has to.
thousands of followers and
Right.
have like but it's I doing what we do, and we in certain things we do similar things, and we look to share stories of people is very interesting because there are two things that I wonder what you think about. But
Mhm.
if you give people, if you open the gate for people to be on your podcast, on your summit, on your conference, whatever you are doing, there is thousands of women who are going to raise their hands.
Mhm.
But they they don't even, and I'm not even going fixed in business wise, like they don't even have an offer. They don't even have clarity in what they want or why they want. They just want that space, that attention. And social media is a terrible thing on this because now people look to the algorithm and their engagement and they conclude and that is the love they have. People do
Right.
this math. Oh, I have 100 followers, I have 2 likes, so that means then just 2 people love me. And there is a tech algorithm that is behind that, and is nothing about like just like the simple fact that you post on an hour, that like thousands of things will come to play, but people feel algorithm as the value they have, the
Right.
followers they have. And
That's that external. That's that
another
external.
thing that I get crazy, and I put this on the table, is when I ask in a more tangible thing, like what is the result and you want, and people throw me straight the 20K, 7 figures of blah, blah, blah. And I straight away ask why.
Mhm.
And it's so beautiful to see. Or they want to say, I want to make more money. I say, oh, okay, how much is more money and why? And they don't have an answer. And I have a theory for that. Because in reality, what is success for me is different than what is success for you. And what is success for you today is different, probably what was success for you before, and what is going to be success for you in the future.
Right.
So, and we buy out these success versions, then our family, our friends, our society tell us that is our success. And guess what happens? When you even get there, it feels deeply empty because that is not aligned with you.
Right. Because it's not aligning with, well, it's aligning with who you were, not who you are.
Mhm.
And so, often I'll teach about the journey, not the end, not the result, not the destination, right?
Yeah,
You should be
enjoying the journey.
enjoying the journey and getting there. And no matter what milestone I've hit, as soon as I've gotten there, there's already
A new one.
another one ahead because I get almost close and I'm like, okay, well, I know I'm getting there. So what's my next thing? Like I'm already on to the next thing. And and often, yes, often, those big results that you're waiting for, you get there and then you're like, oh, this isn't how I imagined it was going to be.
Oh
This
yeah. And then something fun happens. I don't know. I talk about me. Point one, there is no firework. Nothing like nothing happens. All right.
right.
And then the second one is there is always when you achieve something, when you have a big shift, there is always a part of you. I don't want to say die, but a part of you will never come back anymore because you
Mhm,
don't need it. You have an evolution. So there is
mhm,
a kind of a nostalgic feeling of,
mhm,
oh, okay, I'm not so stuck on the pain and the suffering. I have more space in my brain and my heart to do things. So
mhm.
it's just, hmm. And and why do you think then if we could bring our people to live present in the moment, that would
Mhm.
help? Because everyone
Absolutely.
is so on the future or on the past.
Yeah. So, yeah, definitely it's okay to have that goal. It's okay to have your vision board. It's okay to say, I want to live in that house, right?
Mhm.
How are you going to get there? But the why is so important. And you brought that up, and it's so important. Why do you want to live in that house? Why do you want to live in that house? Think about it. Do you want to live in that house so that everyone goes, wow, look at her house? Or do you want to live in that, and think about like that 5,000 square foot house that you love. Who's going to vacuum it? Who's going
Yeah,
to
I
do,
was going there. Like I
who's going
always
to pay the
hate big
electric
houses
bill?
because
Right?
oh my
Who's
God.
going to, know what I mean? So like all of those things that you sort of dream up and you put out there, are those what you really want, or are those expectations of somebody else out there? And if you can stay in the present, you can find so much joy and you get into alignment so much faster if you can stay in the present. And I'm really good at it now. I've practiced for many, many years and have taught law of attraction, have taught, alignment, have taught all of these things for many, many years. So now even when, I'm in an argument with my husband, I'll just be like, we're not talking about 5 years ago. We're talking about, we're right here, right now. Right now, we're talking about right now what just happened. Like that's it. We're not
Mhm.
bringing up this, we're right here, right now. So if you can stay in the present all the time, and it's hard, it's not easy. It's something you have to practice, right? Something you just really have to practice. And if you don't know how to do it, there's lots of teachers out there will show you. But staying in the moment and just finding joy in everything you can, like being here with you today is bringing me so much joy.
Mm,
And just
me too.
everything, I've kind of closed off everything. I'm so focused here.
Hmm.
And just being here has just been so felt so good, and just being here in the moment and having this conversation and not thinking about what's next or what came before or anything, just being here. And I hope that anyone listening can learn this if they haven't already, but um, there's such joy in being in the moment,
Yeah.
in just enjoying sitting down and paying attention to what you're eating and or watching a show and not being on your phone at the same time, just enjoying it,
Oh, but
and
multitasking. Oh, I have moments where multitasking works with my brain. So, for example, if I'm
oh,
cooking and learning something else, multitasking works with my brain. But
it
we
happened
talk.
yesterday. I was in the
Mm.
kitchen and I was cooking breakfast, but I was standing there tick 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 on my phone. My husband's like, why do you have to be on your phone? I go, you know what, I'm writing and I'm thinking of something right now, and if I don't
Do
write
you
it
have
down.
that when you are cooking? I have that when I'm cooking, when I'm driving, or I'm taking a shower. Like,
Yeah, because we're focused on something else, so it opens up our pathways so that
mhm.
our brain starts working in a different way, starts making those different connections, and then we get those ideas, we get those aha
Yes,
moments. Yeah,
downloads.
yeah, I love it.
Mm. Mm. Let's talk about She's Me.
Okay.
She's Me. I love the name. And then you have so many beautiful things inside.
Yes.
Just like give us a glimpse of what can
What
any
you can do.
person listen to you right now, what they can if they open. I was going to say the Pandora box.
Uh-huh.
They
They open.
open the Pandora box. Um, and I struggle with the name Pandora to give to the agency because everyone has such a bad feeling about Pandora boxes. But
Yeah.
the box of the possibilities, not
The
necessarily of the
possibilities.
fears. So if they come to you because I have a theory, people always buy our energetics, not necessarily
Yes.
the outcome. So the first they say, I don't know what she's about, but I want to be with her. So
Hmm.
um, if I knock to your door, I know the answer, but okay. If I knock to your door right now, what what you have for this women, for women
Yes.
in general, like
So if you just want to listen and find out what has happened in the past or whatever, we have many years of conferences on our YouTube channel, and you can scroll through there and see, all of these women, over 400 women telling their stories and talking about what they do and their businesses and so on and so forth. Um, if you want to get involved, like there's so much content there, you could listen for every day for, a year and a half and you'd be good. Um, and more content's coming all the time. So
mhm,
you want to get involved, you do not have to have a business to get involved. You can join the conference and tell your story. That's what the
mhm,
conference is all about. The
mhm.
conference format is tell your story, tell how you've healed, tell what it is you do now and how you help others, right? And if you don't have a business, that's totally fine too. You can just come and tell your story and be part of, because it's important that you tell your story, because when you tell your story, you stop carrying it around on the inside.
Oh, that is so. But I was going there because
Mm.
there is something very powerful, and that happens as well with when we coach or when we do healing. There is a
Hmm.
part, I call it the good selfish pleasure of giving. There is, we share, we are giving, but on the end, we are releasing ourselves. So, for
Exactly.
example, in all 3 years of magical circles with tapping and EFT, I always tell them I did help me more and to me than all thousands of women in cross that circle.
Mhm.
So, telling a story is very,
Telling your story, you get it out. You get it, you're not your cells aren't carrying the weight of it anymore. You're getting it out and you're helping other women, whether you know it or not. So you can join us and tell your story that way. If you are a business owner, you can join the conference, of course, or you can, we have monthly events where you can teach a workshop, or you can speak, or you can sit on our panel. We usually have a panel of, 5 or 6 women, and we all talk about a subject and answer questions, and it's great interactive work. You can attend any of these events and ask questions and be part of.
mhm,
Um, we also have we have different leadership paths
mhm.
and She Is Me. So we have, you can be a She Is Me Speaks facilitator, which you would facilitate and coordinate events such as workshops and speaking events in your community. You could be a retreat facilitator where you learn how to give retreats and be an actual like own your own business and be She Is Me facilitator and give retreats all around the world if you'd like. We're going to teach you exactly how to do it and support you the whole time. Or you can be a studio owner and you can open a She Is Me studio, which is a physical space in a community. You're a community leader. You're bringing in people who teach classes, who teach healing. You do. There's the
I
possibilities
know.
are endless.
And
That
then they're probably coming something new as well, right?
Right, right. There's all kinds of stuff going on. Um, but you can be a speaker, you can be a teacher, you can be a partner, you can be a sponsor, you can be active participant. There are so many ways to get involved. The other thing that's launching probably next week, we're just finalizing everything right now, is the community, which is the sanctuary, and that community is by women for women. It's on a private server in another country owned by women. And it's a place where we can all get together and say whatever we want. And we're all women are welcome. And there are special groups for different category, women who have certain health problems or trans women, or there's just something for everyone. Um, and it's out of the public eye, so it's a very, very safe space. And the feeling is from people who have experienced just a little bit of it that it feels like home. Finally, it feels like a place where we can just all be, and
Mhm.
that's something that we don't get to do in our normal lives. We don't just to get to be there. Like,
I am
um,
I am going to ask you a question.
yes,
Uh, there is, as a leader of a community, there is always a kind of a fear of being human because we are leaders. We need to be there, hold space. But guess what? We are humans as well.
correct.
And we have moments where life explodes. And it's a very hard way to navigate because and I'm telling this, and I'm being very honest and raw here. The end of last year was a very interesting moment in my life where it did look like a dark joke in 1 week. So many things terrible did happen. Then was from my father passing to me being in a terrible kidnap attempt, but that is because I decide to live in places that I should not. And losing all the access to my bank accounts and it's like everything is exploding. Your mental health explode at the same time. You have a community, and you don't, and I'm talking about me, and I did not show up in my best. But as well,
But did you show up?
yes, as I am, and the good thing with me is like people know what to get with me. Like I'm very raw and honest in everything that I share, and I don't try to be perfect because I want them to know as well. Then, like when you are a coach, a healer, when you are a business owner, you are operating with your energetics, and guess what? There will be moments then life explodes, and
Mhm.
you need to have, if I want to say something like here, you need to have a backup plan. And communities, when you host communities normally, you need to have that person. Like in my case, I know then if I cannot be present, I can ask you to do that because I trust you and I know what you
Mhm.
can bring to the table. But it's hard on us. It's like, or not. Like, how do you see that? How do you manage if
Well,
you,
it's
in
kind of
any
goes
moments, you have something like that?
right. No, but it kind of goes back to what I was saying about this woman blogger, right? Where she had this human moment where it was too much for her. And instead of being honest with her community, she disappeared and tried to cover it up. And that backfired tremendously. That was the end of her career. Um, and so for me, I think with 1,000% that you need to show up and be honest. Like, hey, I'm having a really bad day, and this is what's happening with me, and I'm going to take some time, or I'm going to have Lisa take over for a little bit because I can't do this right now. I mean, just be honest and open and authentic and real, and people appreciate it because they rarely get it
Yeah.
from others.
And that takes
So
me to tell what is magical about you and why I believe um, what you do is so important. We are all sick and tired of people coaching us or learning with others structures that work for them. And what I
mhm,
believe, what I know, then you are bringing to the table is okay, I'm sharing, you are sharing and teaching and giving what works, but then you as well give them space to co-create with you, like I like to say, like
correct. Mhm.
to create their own. I have this theory from the seven days business revolution. So every expert that I'm bringing, you are one of them. I'm creating this, and even though I'm bringing people who talk about visibility as well, and I have no issue with that because you will like some things that I say, but then you will like some things then she's saying, then she's
Mhm.
sharing, and then you can create. It's like I call it this buffet of different foods, and you can create your own plate. When you go to the all
Of
you can
course.
eat, and you can create your own plate, and that is your blueprint for success. And I believe that when people join any of your opportunities on She's Me, they have you on their team in a certain way instead of,
Exactly.
yeah.
So having been a rocket scientist and working in tech and all of the things that I've done in my life, I've done a lot of things because I'm one of those people that I know that I have this one opportunity here
Mhm.
on this planet, and I need to do every single thing I possibly can that I can experience. And so if it was getting a divorce, then that's check, did it.
Mhm.
Well, if it's climbing a mountain that I felt I could actually do it, check, fine. Is it learning how to ski when I was 50? Check. I mean, just like let's just try it. And if I don't like it, I won't do it, and like there are things that I would never ever care about doing, like climbing Mount Everest. Like I don't care. I don't care if I
I'll
ever
never
climb Mount
jump
Everest.
out of an airplane. Okay.
Oh, I've jumped out of an airplane. But you know what I
Okay.
mean? Like I want to take those experiences. But one thing that I never had
Mm,
all of my career,
mm,
someone who had my back and someone to help me figure it out. And that's something that I want to offer everyone who works with me is know that we're going to help you figure it out. We're going to get you to that place and we're going to support you the whole time.
Mhm.
like marketing, operations, admin, all of those things. You have a team of people that are supporting you. So you're not just being an entrepreneur out there on your own and not knowing anything what to do. I mean, how many
And
people,
feeling the frustration, like how many people that we had this conversation thousands of times. How many people 40, 50, 60, tech is a monster for them. And they don't shine and get the clients they are who need them
or
because of
marketing?
social media. I was going there, social media or tech that are, or imposter syndrome. It's like the triads. So
So you have all this knowledge and you have all this wisdom and you have all this stuff that you want to share, but you don't know how to let people know about it. You don't know how to build an email campaign. You don't know how to build a website. You don't know how to create an event to have people come and listen to you. You don't know any of those things, but I do.
I
I
know
know
you
those
do.
things. So guess what? You can come in with all of your knowledge and your wisdom and all of those things, and we'll help you get up. We'll lift you up. We'll put you out there. We'll support you, and you get to shine. You just get to do your thing,
You get
right?
to do your thing. You stay on your magic, like stay there, and Lisa
Yeah,
will guide you to that. It's so
we will
beautiful.
support you. We will build your stage and your your speakers and everything else. We will support you so that you can do what you're good at. Because what happens in with women in business is I finally am brave enough to go out on my own. I've got my money, I've got my idea, and I go out there and nobody's paying attention and nobody's listening and I'm not getting the likes and I'm not getting this, I'm not getting that. I'm not selling anything and I'm burning through my money and because I don't know how to do all the things. I don't know how to do
Uh,
all those other
and
things that I
for
didn't know that I needed.
some weird reason, and I believe during a certain time, then past 4 years, 5 years ago, they put us in our mind. Then because we had lots of time and we were close at home, put us in our mind. Then we could manage to do every little thing from the tech
Yes.
to the sales to creating offers, to running social media, to going to all social medias and realizing your personal brand, like all. And guess what? It's not true. Oh, an extra. They told you you could make 10K in 30 days and working 3 hours a week and traveling
Oh
the
yeah.
world with a backpack. Digital nomad here doesn't work like that. Like
No.
doesn't work like that. Just change one Airbnb to the other, and Lisa knows that like your energetics are going to be upside down.
Yeah. You
So
can't do it. But you also can't just show up and start talking and have you expect to have 10,000 followers who are, and you're making tons of money on YouTube. It doesn't work like that. I mean, there
you
are,
don't need that, and you don't need if people if I can just drop something here. What people can have 100 followers and make six figures.
absolutely.
It doesn't like, and I'm coming for the big metrics. Like, forget that. Like all my money was made by my personal profile who have 3,000 friends. Then I recycle point.
Yeah.
And um the only thing you need is knowing your people and caring. I'll tell
And
you.
caring.
And caring is the only thing you need. Obviously, then if you are in male energetics and go, 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 and 10K, 100K per month, and God know how much, then we are going to another place. But that being said, let's close this with where people can find you. We are going to
People can find me.
put the links on there, but come on.
Yeah, we'll put the links on there. But there, you can go to sheismeconference.com. You can go to sheismeglobal.com. You can follow She Is Me Global on Instagram, Facebook, Blue Sky. I
What
think
is
that
blue sky?
Sky is a social media platform.
Okay.
Um, we are not on Twitter at all.
You made me laugh now.
It goes against everything I believe in.
Yeah.
As well as Meta, but we
Yeah,
are on Meta.
I know. That is a private conversation between.
We are on Meta for now, but as you get to know me, if you want to, you'll see that I'm
You
against
will
everything
understand.
that these tech bros stand for because I worked with them for 35, almost 40 years.
Mhm.
So, yeah, anything I can do to not help them would be good for me.
Mm.
But
Mm.
you can find me any way. You can email me at lisajoe@sheismeconference.com. I respond to everybody's email. You can go to our YouTube channel because I've started doing daily updates there, but there's so much content. You might as well just go and check out the content. There's still some live feeds from the conference are up there. So you can just, if you're cleaning the house or whatever, just put it on and let it play. And you'll get hours and hours worth of amazing stories. And I mean, we've had women from 44 countries now on the platform. And women who have been in, the sex trades, who've been trafficked, one woman in the last conference, she had her son died, her house burned down, and she had a stroke all in a month.
Yeah.
And she is bedridden, but she gave her presentation from her bed with something holding her phone because she's paralyzed. But she gave she's a motivational speaker. I mean,
Oh, beautiful.
the women that we brought together on this platform that any of you listening could join us, they're all phenomenal, every single one of them. Um, because we all are, right? Some of us just don't know it.
A
We
hundred,
don't believe it. We don't believe that about ourselves.
100%.
I did, I have a group on Facebook also that is just a private women's group called Happy Soul Collective. And every Tuesday nights I do tarot. It's Tarot Tuesday instead of Taco Tuesday. It's Tarot Tuesday. And we do tarot readings. And it's fun. And we had just a blast last night. But one of the girls got a card, and her card, we do these wonderful like self love cards at the end. And one of them said, it was like, I am marvelous, or I am something. But I made everybody write it down and put it on their bathroom mirrors, like
Mhm.
write it down, put it in your bathroom. So every morning when you get up,
Oh,
the first thing you
I was going to ask you, if you have a message to people, so maybe that is a good one,
this
like
is
a
a good one.
quote.
Yeah. It's not marvelous. I am trying to find the card. It's right here in front of my face. I am spectacular. I am just pick a word, any word. I am stupendous. I am luminous. I am
I do that with
uh
tapping.
what's that?
I do that with tapping. So it's one of the things that we do on the magical circles is tapping at the same time, going through the same. It's so I'm a sticky notes girl. I
I'm a
follow
sticky note.
I like my dream is when I'm not an Airbnb and I figure out a place to live where I want to stay. My walls will be all with that how do you call it that it's not the paper, it's like where you can write like you use on the boards or in the meetings, you can
Uh-huh.
write and you can erase it because I'm
Yes.
like crazy sent, like I want to have it all and I want to see it all, and I have sticky notes from all over the house, so I'm a sticky
I
notes.
have sticky notes everywhere, and like here's just a pile of
Yeah.
notes.
Yeah.
There's a pile down, here's a pile over here. But I also bought giant sticky notes that
Oh.
I can write, like peel off. It's a whole page and stick it on
Oh.
the wall.
Oh,
And
I
then
need
a
that.
lot of times, a lot of times I do that because I'm just working out an idea, working out a program or something. And so I put 5 or 6 of them on the wall, and then I just start going, and then I go and I go and I go and I keep going down the wall. Um, and it's fabulous. Then I can just peel them off and roll them up and store them and then find them if I need them again. But you can put anything you want on your sticky note. You can say that you are splendid. You are
You can high five
spectacular.
yourself each time you see your reflection in the mirror and say, well done.
Well done, something.
Well done. Well
You
done.
know, and I am magnificent. I am. I am perfect. I'm magic. I am stunning. I am, you can use any word that you want that would make
Resonate.
you
Yeah.
raise your vibration in the morning and make you feel amazing, perfect,
Mm.
magical, because you
Yeah.
are. So,
I have the two last questions for you.
yes, ma'am.
I have a feeling that we are going to do this often. Um, my question is a message to your younger self.
A message to my younger self. Um, Saying no is okay.
It's a superpower.
I
And
didn't learn that until I was much older.
yeah, it's so
Because
hard
again,
to say no.
Mexican family, Catholic family, very patriarchal structures in my family. My mother was very subservient to my father. My father was the king, and he was her breath, like everything was about him all the time. And so we were taught to behave, be quiet, to talk when you're spoken to, don't make dad mad. It was very do what you're told. That was it. Respect your elders, all of those things. So we never learned to say no. We never learned that.
No. And what is next?
What is next? Um, I don't know. I think, well, we've got all this stuff launching this year. That's what's next, is really just getting all of
Yeah,
this stuff
we
off
are
the ground.
busy. Mm.
And
But what is next on your heart, on your mind?
mm, I don't I don't know. I'm very content in my life. I'm very happy with the decisions I've made. I'm very, I feel very solid in where I'm at right now.
Mm.
And I never try to think about the how things are going to happen.
Oh.
I think getting into alignment and making
Mhm,
sure that I'm in the moment.
mhm,
And so every day I have my list of things to do and who I have to meet and what's happening. Um, and I know that every day those things are getting me closer and closer to my
mhm,
goals and,
mhm,
you know, and I think just, I think what's next is just trying to stay centered, trying to stay calm in the storm that's happening right now,
mhm,
and be a guidepost for others,
mhm.
so that because people are feeling very lost at the moment, and
Very
I
hopeless.
hopeless, and I totally agree with that because it seems like it just keeps coming. And if you're listening from some other part of the world, you understand what's happening in the U.S.
I
is
do.
very,
We
um, very it's just crazy. It's absolutely crazy. And everybody,
it looks like the position of observer, and I'm not going to go deep on that. Like
hmm
I don't watch news. And
hmm
I had the dumb idea of watching something on YouTube the other day, and I went to a short. And I work with majority of you are all Americans, and I was listening, and I was like, okay, so I'm out. I don't. It's not affecting me directly. It's going to affect me
hmm
in any way. Um, and I was like, when I watched two or three shorts, and I was like, is this real? Like
hmm
how this, and then at the same time is almost offensive because then he's going to backfire straight away. Like what you think you can punch and they don't punch you back, like what you
Right,
expect.
right.
But let's not get political here.
No, no, no.
But
But
you
I
know
mean,
what I mean.
I think that what's next and what's current
Mm.
and next for the next immediate future, I'd say that the next 6 months or so is just to
Giving your beautiful energetics to guide and help who needs
exactly
more.
to be that light post, to be that that place that you can always see,
Mhm.
even when the storm is raging around you, that there's that place that you know is a safe place. I think that's the um,
100%.
important goal right now.
100%. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. I'm going to say bye to these people and bye to you properly. Thank you so much for being here with us. Me and Lisa, we send you loads of love. Keep living your dream and make it happen. And I will see you on the next one. Bye bye. Bye bye.
Goodbye.